And now I have a nice 90-degree face, and basically if you go in basically your chain width into it, that's totally fine, or your chain height. If you go in 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch, it's not going to be in the end of the world or anything if that happens. So now that I've created this, my face cut here, this plane, as the tree falls, this plane and this plane will slowly get closer and close together. When this is narrower, it will touch before the tree hits the ground, and then it will cause these fibers that you leave inside the hinge to break. So it makes it so, like when I'm in the tree, if I want it to be a little bit narrower, so that way the butt pops off, it creates more of a roll. Or if I want a tree to be held all the way down, so that way when it hits the ground, my fibers are still intact, I'll have this closer to 90, if not more than 90. So that way that board that's still in there is basically attached the whole entire time. And I want it so that way this basically is right on the edge of breaking when this falls, basically. So now we're gonna go through, just do your traditional back cut, the way that we kind of in school when I went to do one of these classes to get a close kind of reference for what plane you're on, is basically hold your saw and have it so your bar is touching your face right here, and when you back up, just hold that, and now I'm actually really close to the same angle as this one is for, so that way I can keep these two cuts parallel. So one of my classmates just did this, held it, went right around, and then started in his back cut right here. That made it so that way these two planes are parallel to each other, not doing this up or down. Sometimes if you have really stiff knees, you'll have a tendency to have the engine of the saw higher and the tip down, so there'll be an angled side cut. So you want, in a situation like this, you want to get nice and comfy, get down nice and low when you're cutting, so that way you're not stressing and straining to do this kind of thing. And as soon as you get close, you're gonna pick this back knee up and get ready to run. For this one, I'm gonna be on the other side of the tree, mostly because then that way I can use my dogs to really bite into the tree, and it can hog right off. And because I wanna cut this back portion kind of quickly, because we're starting to get in the heat of the summer, so these fibers have a tendency to want to split a little bit, and plus then that way I get some speed, so that way you'll get through. There's a couple branches up top I'm gonna try and get pushed right through. Now let's make it happen. See how that guy kind of popped up? It went backwards a little bit. When you're planning your escape route for these trees, you want to be at a 45 a lot of times. If you're at a 90 degree, if I ran 90 degree here, I would have been in the path of this tree. But if I ran at a 45, it's easy because the tree is falling this way and I'm running away from it. That way you're out of the canopy throwback, plus you're out of a little more of harm's way when you're at a 45 from the direction of the tree base. Super nice, super easy. They're a little bit uneven, but it's because we were just kind of going fast, and this was not that big of a priority. You can see when you have these higher sticks that are sticking up on top of your hinge here, this is called what they call fiber pull, where the fibers, instead of breaking, they're actually pulling out because they're holding so good, because this hinge is relatively big. So this hinge was just probably 1/4 inch too big for the diameter, or for the diameter of this tree, but we had so much force pulling it backwards that we ended up having some fiber pull here. To get away from that, you would actually bore into this tree, establish your hinge, and then come out the backside, especially if you have high value trees or anything like that. Because this, if you had really long fiber pull here, then it would end up making it so that those boards that are inside of there are actually devalued. So that's just some of the things, but that's in a little bit more advanced stuff. But this is your beginner tree felling kind of tutorial. Like and subscribe, guys. Also down in the comments, whatever you guys want to see for the next videos, put them in there, and we'll try and bust those guys out as we kind of do things, because we've had a lot of these good trees lately, and we want to show you guys how to do them. So that's one less tree I have to cut because there's a lot.
Follow for more videos. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe.